Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this week's episode of the Hardwood Nation podcast with your boy CL Anthony and my little man Bryce Wolf.
What's up, guys?
Oh, we haven't seen you on screen in forever.
I know, I know.
So
Nice
you
back.
and with the ankle, you just look like a little man sitting there with the ankle.
Oh, the angle. The angle
The
is
an-
good.
well, it's not you. I think it's the way I had the camera set up. But you just look like a little guy. Now you look better sitting up a little bit.
I got you. I was lounging. This room is full of stuff, so I can't sit in the normal spot when I before. So I'm like sitting on the couch basically right now.
No, no, no. It's all good. And welcome back. It's good to see you again. I'm sure people think you're black when they hear you talk, and now they see you, they know what you are. So
I doubt they think I was black.
if you guys, the fans, love the NBA, just hit the like button for us, and also subscribe to our channel and share our content. For the
Please.
hate watch for the hate watchers, do the exact same thing and share your hate for us. So we're gonna get started this morning. Some of these topics we talk about during the week, and then we had the podcast on them. So we want you guys to hear what we talk about in our private conversations about the NBA. But Bryce, this is a topic that we didn't talk about this week. Dame being out 6 to 8 weeks, which was announced earlier in the week. With this news, do you think Portland now just absolutely gives up on the season, or what?
I think so, or at least in my opinion, you might have to start coming to that realization if you're that team because I think they only have like 16 wins or something like that. It's not like they're going to be fighting for the championship this year. You know,
Mhm.
they've had a lot of struggles. They've had them all season. Dame hasn't been his usual self all season. There's been the rumors since before the season started with how he was feeling. He had McCollum go down with a deflated lung. They've been beat up and had people in and out just like every other team with the COVID protocol, stuff like that. And, uh, for the Portland we've been used to seeing since Dame has gotten there, this team is starting to just seem like a shell of its former self. And the recent news with Dame is, like the cherry on top, in my opinion, for this season for them. Right, just try to move on, focus on next season. I mean, the fans and the coaches and the players don't want to hear that for this season, of course, because But what are you playing for? Nothing that you've reached in the past. You won't reach it this season. So everything should be a letdown in my eyes. But I mean, circumstances are out of their hand. So, but yeah, I mean, this season's like a wash basically now.
Right now, they're sitting at 10. So if the playoffs started today, they would be in the play-in tournament. They're 17 and 25. Sacramento is right behind them. I don't see how, like you said, their season's been trash so far. I don't see how they can sustain this. They did win their last game, and I know McCullum's either coming back or he's already back. I didn't watch the last game, but I know he'll be back soon, if not already. I don't think they can sustain it for the next 6 to 8 weeks or possibly longer while Dame is out. So I see them dropping out of the play in for the time being, which at that point they're in full rebuild mode at that point. Like there's no other option to go. Um, the roster is flawed. The coaching staff has been frustrated all season with them. Like Chauncey Billups literally snaps on the team every other game, and it's only so much of that the players can take, and also only so much of that the coach can take. Even though this is his first season as a head coach, some young coaches who I forget what the term is, but when you take every loss so incredibly hard, they seem to flame out, a la Tom Thibodeau. They just seem to play out or flame out, or even Jeff Van Gundy was like that, where you would go to a spot and you would only be there for like 2 or 3 years and then you're just done. Hopefully that's not the case for Chauncey, but they have to majorly hit the reset button in Portland, and that may include in the offseason, even though Dame's saying he doesn't want to be traded, just saying fuck it and trade him anyway, and just go into full blown rebuild Orlando Magic mode at that point. But it's sad to see. Yeah, I see. Sorry I did that. All right.
Yeah, those little jabs you like to make.
You like how I did
Yeah,
that? So
I'm used to it.
we're gonna move right along from Portland because we both love Dame, but we're not gonna be able to watch him for a while. We're gonna move
Mm-mm.
right along to the NBA mid-season awards because right now we're actually at the mid-season. For you people that don't know, the All-Star break is not the mid-season, but we're at the mid-season right now. So we're gonna go over a couple of awards who we think are the front runners currently for a couple of categories. So Bryce, I'm gonna let you glow about Franz Wagner, who Cortez didn't want the Magic to draft, by the way. Cortez will never be able to let that down. Just saying. We love you, brother.
Um, stop beating up on Cortez. Um, well, when we drafted him at like 8th or 9th, I think. I can't remember now. I'm bad with the numbers, but it was something like that. And we had already picked Suggs at 5. Um, so uh, I don't know. The pick kind of, some people didn't know how to take it. Um, I didn't really know a lot about the kid until I started looking up like highlight videos and stuff about him. And I was like, well, okay, we'll see what he can do at the very least. And since he's gotten on the team and gotten minutes and steadily gotten more and more minutes because everybody sees how good he really is. He's a guy that every team would want. He makes great basketball plays. He's in the right places at the right time. He has lots of tools for how to score the ball. He's a good passing teammate. He's a fair defender, but he hustles. He does everything you want in a player. He does it all the right way. Um, in the time that we've gotten this season, he's been one of the healthiest and engaged players for the longest time. He's been in like almost every game, I think, if not all the games. Um, I really can't say enough good things about him. Right now, I think he's my pick. I'm biased, of course, but I think he's my pick for Rookie of the Year. Um, he's the type of player you want to build around, a solid building block going forward. Out of necessity of having players who can play this year, he's gotten a ton of playing time, ton of starting minutes, and he's thrived. He's gotten better the more minutes he's gotten. And for a rookie player to come in and to already look that calm and to be making the right plays as often as he is, um, to me, it's a little bit of a no-brainer. But I don't know if he will win Rookie of the Year because he's in Orlando and things like that. But I think he's definitely deserving to be in that top conversation for rookies. Nothing but good things to say about him.
Yeah, the kid in Cleveland, I believe, is the leading guy for Rookie of the Year right now. But there's a lot of noise being made for France to be considered the top rookie. And I haven't, apologies to you guys, I haven't watched Cleveland a lot this year, so I haven't even paid attention to the kid up there. But I've watched a lot of the Magic this year. And one thing that I like about this kid, I always say it's easy to put up good stats on a bad team. But one thing I like about this kid is he doesn't force shots. Like he doesn't force the issue. He lets the game come to him. And that's what I like about him. And I mean, he's dropping 15 points a game. Excuse me. Um, and shooting 45% from the field. That shooting percentage is going to go up a little higher as he gets more comfortable with the game because he is a big. So it's going to go up a little higher. He's also averaging almost about 5 rebounds a game and about 3 assists a game. So his numbers aren't bad. The only difference is the Magic are losing and Cleveland's actually winning. So therefore, Cleveland's going to get more of the spotlight with the Mobley kid. So we get that. But Franz Wagner overall, I believe, has a bigger skill set than the kid in Cleveland. Another thing, his 3 point percentage right now is at 3.5, but he's hitting almost two threes a game. I think that percentage is going to go up as well. Overall, the Magic takes too many threes, but for him, I think his percentage is pretty decent considering he's a rookie. Excuse me, in the league. And like you said, he has a tenacity to him. He has a toughness to him that I really like. He's not afraid to hit the court. He's not afraid to scrap with someone over rebound and put his body on the line. So those are the intangibles that you can't necessarily see in stats that really kind of stand out with him as well. So if I had to pick a rookie of the year right now, I would definitely go with the kid in Orlando, and I know you will too. And that's not even from a bias standpoint. That's just from pure basketball standpoint. Who do you think who would be your coach of the year currently if you had to pick one?
Billy Donovan.
Okay, got it. So Billy Donovan has been in Chicago for a couple of years now. Uh, they've never been first in the conference for a long period of time since he's been there. So right now they're currently first in the East, and they've been that for the duration of the season at 27 and 14. Now Zach LaVine will miss about a week of time, but Billy Donovan is a well-deserved Coach of the Year candidate. Hopefully, he ends up coaching the East All Star team this year. Um, as far as him changing the culture with the Bulls, how you feel about that?
Well, I think so much coming into this season was like you have to set the expectations high because on paper your roster looks pretty good. But to get all those guys to play meaningful team basketball in the minutes together, that's another thing. Um, so I want to say kudos to the Bulls management, not just the coach for putting that roster together. But see, to me, the Bulls are always just because I grew up in the '90s, so much of what I grew up with was like Bull success. And to me, I almost just wait for the right team and people to get them back to that. And I thought the Thibodeau era with Rose was going to be it. You got like a taste of it. Um, this run, this team they have now seems just so talented, so polished for like playoffs and a real championship that I think it's nice to see that in Chicago again because it seems like a team that really support or a city that really supports their sports. That gets behind that. So it's nice to see that. Um, I thought they would be good. I didn't know how good, and I think Donovan has really done well in getting everything he can out of that lineup. I think they benefited from having some of that continuity last year, like getting Vooch. Um, they didn't have to worry about adding him this year. They just had to worry about integrating the other guys, which has gone great. I mean, can't say enough as well about DeRozan and the season that he's having. But it was tough for me to pick Donovan because there's a few other coaches out there. Spoelstra, to me, is always in the running when the Heat are playing well and they've been beat up. Also, what Memphis's coach has been able to do, I think, shouldn't go unnoticed. But for me, just with the success they've had all season, the type of success they've had all season, not just barely beating, but like they're a really good team. Right now, my pick is Donovan for the Bulls.
Yeah, those are definitely all three of those guys are good, great picks, and you couldn't dispute any one of them, especially the kid in Memphis. I think this is his second or third year there, but yeah, absolutely great picks. But I'm with you on Billy Donovan. I know you don't like UF guys, but I know you
I,
respect him.
I yeah, I respect him.
And let's also be honest and say, Donovan did kind of go through the motions in the OKC. So he got there when they were high. He got them to the conference finals. Couldn't quite get over the hump, but that was a great learning experience for him. He was even there at the very beginning of their next rebuilds, and now he's in Chicago. So the fruits of his labor is paying off right now. So the next category we're going to talk about is actually going to be the six man of the year. And this is not much of a category. I mean, we already know who this is. This is nothing to argue about. I should have called Kevin actually and had Kevin jump on for this. Bryce, the undisputed six man of the year in this moment is my favorite hero, Tyler Hero of the
That was
Miami
so
Heat.
corny.
That's what I call him on Twitter. He's my favorite hero. You know, um, Tyler Hero of the Miami Heat is having an incredible season now that he has finally embraced his role as a sixth man and doesn't think that he can go toe to toe with Jimmy Butler every night. So Tyler Hero can also be in the running of most improved player, but that's neither here nor there. So currently, coming off the bench right now, the boy wonder is averaging 20 points a game, 4 rebounds a game, 4 assists a game, and currently is shooting from the 3 point line. Trying to keep up with my computer here. Shooting from three, 38%. What do you think of my favorite hero, Tyler Hero, for sixth man of the year right now?
Well, I'm glad he bounced back after that terrible second season, which people usually, can have. It's not super surprising. Yeah, I'll give him that 6 man of the year, whatever.
That's it. That's it. I sat here. I
I know
sat here.
you just said enough. You said enough for him. I don't need to say nothing more.
I
Kudos
sat
to
here.
him. He deserves everything he's gotten for him to have bounced back and had this season and to have a solid place and where he knows he should be on that team, which last year wasn't all his fault. They needed a point guard, and they even tried him out there. They didn't know where to use him because they had some issues with the roster last year. This year is totally different. It's back to like when you guys had the championship season run where you got beat by the Lakers. He knows his spot on the team, and he's thriving. And now it's his third year. He's had a chance to really bounce back. So he's done what he needed to do to combat all the criticism that was fair in season 2. So kudos to him. He deserves it, and kudos to the Heat for having a great season thus far and a deep enough bench to where they have the 6 man balling. So good for them.
I sat here and swallowed my pride and gave all the props in the world to your rookie on your team, and you just shitted on Tyler Hero.
You didn't swallow your pride. You had already made a comment about the Magic losing or something like that.
You
So
just sat here and you shitted on Tyler
you're trying
Hero.
you're trying to sneak in backhanded compliments, and when I say them to your face, you try to act like you haven't done nothing. So no.
This is what you
Next one.
do. This is what you do when I bring you back on live versus the audio feed. So you're back on live so people can see your face as you shit on Tyler Hero. Fuck you.
I gave most or 6 man of the year. I don't need to talk about them.
Fuck you. All right. The big one. And no, I'm not going to pick Tyler Hero for this. And by the way, I just tweeted that you shit on Tyler Hero. By the way, I just want you to know that. So you're going to see that later. Heat Nation,
Cool.
go after this. Go after this guy, Heat Nation. All right,
At this point, it's for no reason I'm hating on Tyler Hero. There's no reason to hate.
bro. We both hated hard on him last year, but you hated hard on him. You know what I'm going to do for your wedding gift? I'm going to send you a box of that Tyler Hero cereal that Kevin says is god awful. That's what I'm going to. Who is your league MVP right now?
Mm. Uh, hmm. We talked about this the other day, and I had my pick.
Don't you change it. Don't you change your pick.
I did like. I think there's more competition. Not that there wasn't before, but I'm really split now between. And I don't know who can keep it up, but I know for a fact one guy's going to keep it up. We'll see. But I'm split between my initial pick is Giannis and then DeMar DeRozan. And I wasn't really thinking about DeMar at first, despite the type of season he's having. I just wasn't for some reason, and that's my fault. My apologies to DeMar. I was just thinking about Steph, Giannis, Durant. I was thinking about those guys. But for me, it's coming down to Giannis and DeMar, and I kind of hope it's DeMar DeRozan, almost for the sake of because of how he's pulling this off, the stage of his career, the reasons why. all these things coming together for the Bulls. Um, I think that's kind of more like a interesting story for the year. But at the same time, it's really hard to deny, in my opinion, what Giannis is doing at the same time, and it's just more of expected with him, and with him being on that team for so long, slowly becoming a better player still at this point. In my opinion, he's still getting better. But what he brings to that team, and statistically, it's really hard for me to go against Giannis as my pick. But like I said, in the last few days, I've been really thinking about DeRozan. So it's a tight MVP race this year. I mean, Steph is not like fallen off, but he kind of cooled off a little bit from the crazy hot start he had had. It's hard for me to really dig deep and say I think it could be Kevin Durant, because Kevin Durant just is doing Kevin Durant things on Brooklyn, and it just doesn't really impress me as much either. So right now, I think it's could be Giannis or DeMar DeRozan. I'm split between those two.
It's kind of like in movies with the Oscar. I know we talk about a lot of movies a lot. It's kind of hard to have the best picture without having the best director. We both agree that Billy Donovan is the coach of the year. With that said, he has the best player in the league right now. I will truly say that. DeMar DeRozan has turned his career around in the late stages of his career. We documented the loss of his father, which is part of his motivation. Also, the fact that he felt like the rest of the league slept on him in the offseason and were offering him minimum contracts. And he was like, no, I'm worth more than that. So he's used that hurt, he's used that anger to fuel him this season and help Billy Donovan and also the Chicago Bulls front office change the culture of that team. That's why, and immediately too. By the way, we knew they were going to be good. We didn't think they were going to be good this year. Maybe next year we thought they were going to be this good, but they have come out firing on all cylinders. They've beat all comers actually. I think except for Miami, they've beaten everybody else. Um, Chicago's for real, and the pairing of those two has been absolutely magical. And the fact that you can be on a team with a bona fide superstar like Zach LaVine, and you're still standing out, and you're still taking those last minute shots, and you hit two back to back game winners, you've established yourself as the man on that team. So, no disrespect to the other candidates. We both love Giannis. We both love Joel Embiid. We both think Kevin Durant can be unstoppable. We love Steph. But there's something that DeRozan, he's playing with the fire this year that we haven't seen him play with before. And those other guys, we've seen them do this before. Even Jokic, we've seen those guys do this before. We haven't seen it from him before. So by virtue of the culture change, by virtue of the record, my pick is for DeMar DeRozan, and it's not even close at this point. Because if he keeps this up, the national media isn't going to give him his flowers. I get that. They're going to go with the quote unquote bigger name. I get it. But he's undoubtedly my MVP right now at this point in the season. And I hope he continues it. And I think, again, with Zach LaVine being out for a week, I think he's even going to be even more pivotal to the Bulls sustaining success there. So,
Mhm.
but I like Giannis. I love Giannis. Should have came to Miami, but I love Giannis.
I shouldn't have. He did the right thing by beating them.
Well, Drew Holiday beat us, but that's a whole other thing. Drew, I'm sorry. I will forever be grateful to you and your contributions to the Milwaukee Bucks championship run.
Giannis wasn't even needed the year they beat you. They beat you with Drew Holiday. They saved championships.
Drew Holiday, Chris Middleton lit us up, right?
Hey, to be fair, they lit up a lot of people.
All right. So next topic, we're gonna have an in-depth. I know you're gonna be driven crazy because I know you hate talking about this. We're gonna have an in-depth conversation on the status of our teams, the Miami Heat, and the Orlando Magic, and I promise I will be on my best behavior and I won't treat you like my little brother in the state of Florida. So, by virtue of record, we're going to start with the Miami Heat first. And I'm going to say, I actually appreciate you considering Eric Spoelstra as one of your Coach of the Year candidates, considering the injuries. We had Jimmy out for 18 games, we had Bam out for 23 games, and then we had the COVID roster of about 8 guys out at one point. We even brought back Mario Chalmers, who didn't even play. Through all of that, and up until last night, the Heat were number 2 in the Eastern Conference. Um, I know you were more sold on this team than I was in the offseason. Have you seen anything that has changed your mind so far?
No, not to change my mind. No. If anything, I'm just it's solidified my opinion that you guys are going to be a late round playoff team, if not the Eastern Conference championship champions. I mean, um, I thought you guys looked great. I mean, I've been saying it all season. I thought you guys have looked great. Tyler Hero coming off the bench and adding that to your team. The reason I thought Spolster should be considered is because you guys, even when you have had a lot of players out, you didn't take a dive. You guys didn't get a lot of losses. That's a testament to the system and the coach, in my opinion. So that was the reason why I liked Spolster for that. But you guys, at healthy, look like one of the best teams in the league. So to me, that just reflects the management and Spolster and systems that you guys have had set up for so long. You know, next guy up, you guys don't have a problem with it. So to me, you're just finally performing the way that the roster should perform. You guys got a lot of talent on our team. Last year, we've said it a lot. There's a lot of problems holding a lot of teams back. The Lakers and Heat really were not looking up to snuff. And, you know, we had our reasons for thinking that. This is the year for them to bounce back. The Heat have bounced back in a big way. And you still have some secret weapons that you haven't ever gotten to use. You know, Oladipo is the ultimate X factor, as we like to say. So I think the sky's the limit for the Heat this year, and I think we're in for some great playoff basketball. But yeah, I can't say enough good things about the Heat this year. And I've been saying it all season because, I mean, the writing's on the wall, in my opinion. So kudos to your team.
I think that there's a layer I forgot to mention too that we at one point played the most road games in the NBA. So to close out the second half of the season, I think we have something of like 25 of 41 games at home. So I'm pretty sure we're going to go, and we're 12-5 at home right now. We just dropped the game to Philly last night, but they're going to go on a tear at the end of the season, especially with everyone. Bam's coming back Monday. So now we're going to have our core. We only had them for 2 weeks so far this season of Kyle
Mm-hmm.
Lowry, Jimmy Butler, and Bam. So now we're going to have our core together almost for the first time since the beginning of the season. I think Miami's going to go on a tear. Of course, we both spoke about the secret weapon during this week, Victor Oladipo. 80% of him will be leaps and bounds ahead of anyone else we have on the bench right now outside of Hero.
Yeah, it just
Um,
adds quality depth.
right. So we don't even have to make a move. Usually the Heat are one of the more active teams at the trade deadline. We don't even have to do that. Our secret weapon is already sitting on the bench right now. We're just waiting for him to get healthy enough to come back. So that's going to add a devastating element defensively and just will, sheer will. He's not a knockdown, dead eye shooter. We know that. He's a streaky shooter, but everything else he brings the playmaking, the free throws, the defense, everything else is there. Like he's a personification of a Miami Heat player. So he's like, on his best day, he's Jimmy Butler light, and that's a compliment. So we can get that back as well, and get Bam reintegrated into the offense because they've played so well without him. Hint, hint. Um, but get him reintegrated back into the offense. I think this team is going to be a very tough out. And like I told you the other day, I think we're going to be on a collision course with Milwaukee for round 3. the end of the trilogy.
The rubber match.
Yeah, we'll see who comes out on top. The Orlando Magic. I'm wrong on here a lot, but this is one time I don't mind being wrong because I predicted you guys were going to be competing for the play-in this year. I thought some of your injured pieces would be back by now, which I'm hearing one might be coming back next week. Um, the Orlando Magic are currently sitting at the bottom of the NBA with 8 wins and 36 losses. We've had injuries, lots of injuries. We've had questionable directives. We have a rookie coach. How happy are you right now with the foundation that's being laid for your franchise?
I am okay with the foundation. If that's what we're speaking on, the foundation, yes. Um, like I said earlier about Franz Wagner, building block. We just got Jalen Suggs back. Um, I mean, it kind of tells you what's going on with their season when we're waiting for a rookie to come back who wasn't even like super impactful yet. It, we're just grasping at straws for talent right now, and I think we have some pieces moving forward. But the injuries to me are the standout problem that have been a problem for like the last 5-6 years or so. I just want to see us get healthy. I'm not worried about the record yet. It is what it is. It's just we can't do anything until we get our starters and our best players back. We've had to call up so many Lakeland G League players. It's kind of sad and ridiculous, but all I can do as a Magic fan is just wait for the players to get healthy. There's you can have questions in your mind once they're on the court, and you see everybody playing together. You can have your opinion about what we should do, who we should move, how we should play. That's all fine. We can't even have those discussions yet because we don't know what this team looks like healthy. We don't know what the starting five could look like if Fultz and Anthony and Wagner and Isaac are all playing together. We don't know how good that is. We don't even get to debate who's going to be the odd man out yet because nobody's playing. Mo Bamba has had a good season. He's on the trading. There's rumors that he could be traded. We've been saying all season Terrence Ross is a good candidate to be traded. But for what? What do you bring in? There's just question mark after question mark right now. I like the job that the new coach Mosley's done this year, and having some of these other guys ready to play and play as well as you could hope. But there's just not enough talent that's actually healthy on the court. And until that's not a problem anymore, there's not a whole lot for me to say. I would love to talk more in depthly about how Franz plays well with Fultz on the court at the same time. But unfortunately, we just can't. This season's going to be a wash. We're going to get a high draft pick. And so I guess that's nice. But in the long run, I just want to see my team get healthy and to see what we have at full strength. If we're still mediocre at full strength, then, we start making moves. I get it. But at this point, we can't even have that discussion because of the injuries. Fultz should be back soon. Isaac should be back relatively soon after, but who really knows with that kid? And then we have to see what the chemistry between Cole Anthony, Suggs, and Franz Wagner can turn into. But Suggs just got back, so that experiment had to be on hold too. So I am hoping for just healthy players, so that way we can start figuring out the rest of what we need to figure out. Go ahead, trash them.
I'm not. No, I'm not going to trash them. I'm going to actually ask you an opinion. As we know, the Magic gave their front office. Forgive me, I'm looking up stats right now. The Magic gave their front office a 4-year contract extension earlier this week, which kind of split Magic Nation a little bit. Me and you both agreed that the extension was too long. I think the extension should have been 2 more years, considering it begins next season. Um, I can see how they got an extension. My issue was just the length of the extension. I know you mentioned, you know, the rumor all year about trading Terrence Ross, and for what? They're trying to get more draft picks, and we both saw the rumor about them shopping Mobamba. We know that they need to clear up the bigs because they have a lot of bigs right now, a lot of young bigs. So if you were anticipating Isaac coming back and you're anticipating keeping Isaac because you just paid him before he got hurt, then Mobamba may be the odd man out. Because as I always say, when you have a young team like this, you can't pay everyone. And we even discussed which one would you get rid of. Well, now it looks like the Magic have made their choice. They're going to try to get rid of Mobamba. Um, how do you feel about that? Because we had the conversation before we saw the news that they were shopping Obama. So how do you feel about the Magic deciding to stick with Isaac, despite the fact that we haven't seen him in almost 2 years, versus staying with Mobamba, who we've actually seen, and he's been playing quite well.
Well, as you were like framing that question, I kind of had an opinion, like kind of just come to me, and the reason why I think they're going with Mobamba in this situation is they just see that they have young talent stacking up, and I don't think they necessarily have a preference yet. And Isaac's not playing, and they just gave him that contract extension before he got hurt. I don't think he has any trade value. So I don't know what they're trying to do or bring in exactly, but Mobamba has trade value because of the season he's played. Teams could actually want him. With Isaac, you'd have to ask yourself, why would anybody want him yet? So I just think it's, well, they see the amount of players and the type of players we have at that position, and they just trying to use their assets to do whatever it is they're trying to do. But I think the reason they do that is just because Bamba has value and has been playing well this season, whereas Isaac hasn't been on the court at all. So I think that's all it is an idea of what you're going to get back. So Bamba has trade value, Isaac doesn't. I think that might be what it is. Because if it's me, because of Franz Wagner, my opinion is maybe you trade Isaac and keep Bamba. Bamba's not as talented or as versatile as Isaac, but so far he's actually been able to play and be a solid defensive player in the league. So, but we'll see. We'll see what they get back if they make any trade at all. Just because he's available and they're talking doesn't mean anything will happen.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see.
Got it. I just took a shot of my computer screen while we're podcasting. I'm going to upload it to Twitter so they'll see what my screen looks like. I'm over here like majorly multitasking right now. I you made a great point about the trade value for Isaac versus the trade value for Mabamba. I just fear that they might be moving the wrong guy. if they can get because they're looking for specifically first round draft picks for um, Mobamba and also Terrence Ross, and then Gary Harris's name is in there because they got a lot of young guards, so they're going to make more room for R.J. Hampton, Michael Carter Jr. Michael Carter Williams, whatever the hell his name is, MCW, that kid. I think he's done in the NBA. He's been injury prone. He's been fighting like MMA style shit. So I think he's done. So he's gonna come off the book soon. I don't think you guys are gonna re-sign him. So, but the looking for first round picks scares me a little bit because I don't want you guys to go the Boston route. What I mean by that is, do you remember for years Danny Ainge had all these first round picks and never did anything with them? So it's
Like a
like,
mountain of them.
right, and it's just like, what are you gonna do? Like, are you gonna trade them? Like, what are you gonna do? And then look at the team now. So I don't want the Magic in that kind of situation. I think you have a good core now. If you can convince a couple of veterans, and I'm not talking about Robin Lopez, but if you can convince a couple of veterans to come there, via trade or whatnot, to help those young guys out, then I think you guys can be in that contention for a play-in spot. The good news is you're not that far off. You're literally every team's one piece away, but you guys are literally one piece away from having a good team. Aaron Gordon wasn't it. Evan Fournier wasn't it. Vooch could have been it. Let's just be realistic. Could have been it. Oladipo, they wasted too much time trying to make him and Peyton work. Okay, you guys made a horrible trade when you drafted Sabonis and traded him. You could use Sabonis right now because he's arguably more talented than any big that you guys have right now. So there were a couple of mistakes made, and I cannot remember. I think that could have been Hennigan. I don't think that was these guys that made that trade. Um, but you're not far off. I don't know who in the league you go after. There's rumors of the Aaron Fox or Tyrese Halliburton, who was a nice young guard um, in Sacramento. If they break it up, I would call them for one of those guys. And you might have to get rid of Fultz. You might have to get rid of Suggs. Who knows? But there's a spark that's needed there to play alongside of Cole Anthony. Now, I will say this. Suggs had a great game coming back. I think he had like 12 points, 6 assists, 7 rebounds off the bench. I was like, okay, that was pretty good. So I can't wait to see more of him. Of course, me and you are going to the Boston game, and me and Gerald, I believe, are going to the Chicago game. We're going in back-to-back weeks. So between those 2 weeks, I'm gonna know because now we're gonna see Suggs. We're gonna see Anthony. We may see Fultz back by the time the Boston game gets here. So we're
Mhm.
gonna know firsthand what's going on there. But I don't think you guys are too far away. I just think you need a spark. Cole can't carry it by himself. Franz is a rookie. You can't put too much pressure on him right now. But you guys need a proven NBA player to help this team out. And I think you would need it in the backcourt because I've been saying all off season, I've said on every podcast that I could, I've said on Twitter, folks gone. That folks is gone. There's no room for him. There's no need for him. Folks is gone. And I know people hate that. I don't give a fuck. That's how I feel. Folks is gone. So, and see, I didn't jab your team. I actually gave you compliments the entire time.
Yeah, you'll sneak them in other ways. But yeah, the Fultz thing is, it seems like it's one of the easier decisions to come to. Like it kind of like it feels like that's the way it's gonna have to be. Even though I'd like to see what he could do with the team, healthy. But yeah, I'm kind of with you. I think he's just with what we have. I think there's a chance for him to be like the odd man out kind of thing. And
Mm.
if we get something back for him, the Magic might take that chance to get him off of there. So I don't know, man. There's a lot of question marks. There's a lot of ways this could go. Now Isaac is a big question mark for me as well. So we'll see what becomes of Fultz and Isaac. But Cole and Wagner right now are the future building blocks in my eyes. So
Yes, yes, I'm definitely with you on that. So
Cole's is going to be a bona fide star in this league. Is what I think.
I'm gonna do something a little different. We're gonna mix it up. We're gonna do a rapid fire. I'm gonna name some names, and you let me know if they're gonna be traded or not. Damian Lillard. I mean, traded this year. So Damian Lillard,
No,
Jalen Brown,
no,
Ben Simmons,
he should have been traded already. I don't know. I would say yeah, but Philly's balked on that all season, so I don't know what they're gonna do. Yeah, he should be traded.
Julius Randle.
They won't.
I'm hearing whispers. I'm hearing whispers. It shocked me too. It shocked me too.
Dude, I never know what New York. I don't know what they're doing.
Dude, it shocked me too, bro. I'm hearing whispers. I'm hearing Zion. Just letting you know.
Why would you? Well, okay,
I'm hearing it. I'm hearing it.
that's to me. You're gonna trade one center, power, whatever position, um, who's not even a 7-footer, who's like kind of thick. Like they're the same player, except you're
I'm,
getting one who's incredibly out of shape.
I'm hearing. I'm hearing they're trying to make moves to if if this would be the first move, but if Zion declines the rookie extension and becomes a free agent, which no player has done recently, then New York would try to go after him. That's just what I'm hearing. And the last name I'm gonna give you breaks my heart because there will be no Russell Westbrook slander on this podcast or on my Twitter timeline. Will Russell Westbrook be traded?
I don't know who's gonna give him a chance this year. Um, he's been on Washington. He started in KC. He was in what was the other team he was on for a while?
Houston. Houston.
Houston. I wanted to say Houston, but wasn't. I was like, was he on Houston? He's like one of the most at this point. He's like one of the most talented journeymen you're gonna
I,
see. But look, I know you don't want to hear no slander, and I'm not gonna say anything
I'm gonna
slanderous.
mute you. I'm gonna mute you.
All I'm saying is the question has to get brought up. Why is it always?
No,
You have to raise the question. Um,
no.
I'm sorry. I'm not even slandering him like other people where they're making fun of his shot or his shot selection or his turnovers. I'm saying there's something. There's a common denominator here with Westbrook. And if he isn't going to make it work with this Lakers team, which is not perfect, don't get me wrong, but there's something wrong. There's something if this was any other player, you would be asking yourself what's going on like behind the scenes. What
I
is
have.
it that
I have the
makes
answer. I have the
not
answer already. I do. I have the answer. For my almost 30 years of watching the NBA, actually it'll be 30 years next year because I started when I was like 11 or 12. Let me tell you, I have the answer. First of all, I've been watching NBA for a long time, by the way. I've forgotten more basketball than what people know. The answer is street clothes. Until street clothes comes back and play, he's going to be my target. Now, once he gets his ass back on the court and actually plays like he gives a shit, and if Westbrook continues to play bad, then we can realistically shift the blame to Russell Westbrook because we know LeBron's playing phenomenal. LeBron James is number 2 in the league in scoring right now. So it's definitely not LeBron. Like he's doing everything he has to do right now. But street clothes has to come back. I'm hearing he's going to be back in about 2 to 3 weeks. And then we can see, okay, we'll have a bigger sample size of the three of them playing together. But I'm going to take you back, and this is going to be my last thing before we go. I'm going to take you back to what I said in the preseason. For Russell Westbrook and LeBron James and Anthony Davis not to play together in those preseason games is the reason why the Lakers are ass right now. Despite the fact that we both picked them to win the championship then, before we saw Golden State, that was damning. Those guys should have been on that court together. I mean, I think they played the last 2 games out of like 8. They should have been together playing, and that was damning. And now we're seeing the result of that. The coach should be fired. Anthony Davis' foot should be lit on fire, and LeBron James needs to take a step back, and maybe this team will win.
maybe. I'd like to see Westbrook end up on the Heat one year just to see how that could go. Just to see because certain teams, if they feel like they can't win with Westbrook, something's wrong. I'm not saying it's all his fault. I'm not saying that. I'm saying Anthony Davis needs to step up for the Lakers in a big way too. And I've been saying that all season. I said I thought the Lakers would go as far as Anthony Davis could take them, despite having
Mm-hmm.
this other talent on the team, because I thought he should have been the major point of focus this year, which it has not been. But it calls into question the rest of it. And like you said, you can't point the finger at LeBron. He's playing too good. So then you gotta look at Westbrook. And I'm not downing his play or anything, but all I'm saying is like you look around at his journey through the NBA and you go, well, why? And if you can't win with this team and you're having issues, then ship him off to the Heat and see if y'all can win with him. Because I'd be interested to see how he fits in there. But what I'm saying is, I'd like to see him there so you can have your opinion on how the Heat should handle him, because that would give your true, unbiased opinion of him. Because you would not sacrifice slandering him if the Heat couldn't win with him. So that's why I'd like to see him in Miami, so that way we could get your true opinion on him. Because I get what you're saying, and he's earned that respect. He hasn't earned all the slander and criticism he's had in the past. In my opinion, he's a super intense, emotional player, and he plays great with everything on the court. But can you win a championship with him as your point guard? I don't know. I can't say that. So I'd like to see him on the Heat, so that way we get your unbiased opinion.
I'll give it to you right now. If Russell Westbrook was to ever be traded to the Miami Heat, we would know how to deal with a player like him, and we would give him the green light like he had in OKC and wouldn't try to restrict him. If Russell Westbrook was a member of the Miami Heat right now, playing alongside of Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo, we would win a championship hands down. Book it. You can book it. And I love Kyle Lowry. Don't get me wrong. But if we had Russell Westbrook, oh man.
Maybe,
Oh
maybe,
man.
or
Oh
we'd
man.
see Butler and Westbrook on the sideline jawing at each other because Butler's like, "I was wide open. Why'd you take that shot?" And hit the back of the backboard.
Well, considering Jimmy can't shoot that great himself, I don't
Exactly.
know. Look, and look, that's why we need, as Heat Nation says, that's why we need the white guys because they can shoot. Struce and Tyler and Tucker Robinson, they all can shoot. That's why we need the white guys on the team because everybody else can't shoot worth shit. So we're gonna wrap it up this week. But again, if you love the NBA, hit the like button, subscribe to our content. If you hate us, hit the like button, subscribe to our content. Tell us how much tell us how much you hate us in the comments, and tell us how much you hate us on Twitter at Hardwood Nation, and we'll respond to you and give you love back. Thank you guys. We will see you next week, hopefully